Welcome back to the second day of continuing live coverage of the South Carolina AgriBiz and Farm Expo. We are here at the Florence Civic Center, and I want to remind our Farm Bureau members that you can get in free today with your membership card. And for those of you who are not a member of the Farm Bureau, they've got a deal for you if you want to get in at the door and get in for free today. But we're going to be going to the Commissioner's Breakfast in just a moment. But before we get started, we want to welcome you back and also introduce you to the sponsors of this program. We've got Sarah Windham, and she's with Dixon Hughes and Goodman. And we've also got Katie Black, who's the coordinator of student recruitment at Clemson University, and they are sponsoring the breakfast this morning. And Katie, I want to start with you.
Sure.
and ask you about the breakfast and what it means for the programs that you run at Clemson University.
Absolutely. So the breakfast this morning is really an opportunity for the commissioner to bring some guests and friends together to hear him speak a little bit about agriculture this past year. We've got some great speakers as well. Callie Coakley is going to also talk a little bit from her perspective. But what it really means for us is that we've got, I think, 25 tables sold of sponsors that are going to be promoting and supporting the South Carolina Commissioner School for Agriculture, which is something that all of us are passionate about. The South Carolina Advocates for Agriculture are big supporters of our program. It's a youth program for high school juniors and seniors to come to Clemson and have an opportunity to learn more about the careers in agriculture and natural resources.
Wonderful. And Sarah Windham, tell us about the work that you do at Dixon Hughes and Goodman and the importance of being a part of this expo.
We are CPAs and advisors and handle a lot of financial advice that farmers would get, from preparing their tax return to financial statements to assisting with banking, those types of things. And we have a lot of clients in this industry, and I think agriculture is extremely important to our state. Obviously, we have initiatives with the South Carolina agriculture in various different segments of it, and I think it's very important that gives back to our state and it makes our state a better place. And I think us being a part of this breakfast and supporting the school and getting young people involved in agriculture so that it doesn't die is extremely important.
And that reminds me, I know that you've been around the last couple of days
Sure.
talking about keeping the family farms,
right,
and helping parents and grandparents think about what their succession plan is going to be.
Right.
Tell us what are some of the pointers that you are giving to people to think about their
Succession
future.
planning and estate planning kind of go hand in hand for farms, and I think it's very important because a lot of the wealth of farmers is tied up in their combines and their cotton pickers and their sprayers and obviously their land. And that makes doing estate planning and succession planning very important because you want to make sure that you're prepared for passing it on to the next generation so that you don't have to pay 40% estate tax, or you can do quite a few things to pass the farm down and keep it in the family, so to speak, without taking a huge hit with the IRS and the state. So I think it's very important for the younger generations and the older generations to engage someone, an attorney, a banker, a CPA, someone, and plan for that instead of just letting it happen.
And to both of you, I know that we've gone through different cycles in terms of interest in the agricultural industry, and in different ways. And just from what we see from the general public side, there seems to be a resurgence of interest, and I'm wondering if you're seeing that in the work that you do.
Absolutely. At Clemson specifically this year, we're up 12% in our traditional agricultural applications. That's great for us. Our enrollment has been on a steady incline for quite a while now. It's almost hard to go out and recruit too hard. I mean, really getting into Clemson can be quite tough, but we try to build that relationship with students and making sure that even if they're not ready to come to Clemson as a freshman, we can work with them on the transfer plan and some of those opportunities. And it is very exciting to not just work with families who understand agriculture, but to also have a student who has an interest and I'm explaining to their parents what the opportunities are. That's really exciting, and I really enjoy that part of my job, that there's some real education happening for them.
Very good.
And I think we are seeing that as well with some of our clients, where the next generation is graduating and coming back to the farm, and they're adding new things, and they're being creative, and they're thinking out of the box. They may add a different crop, or they may add a processing component where they're packaging something that they weren't packaging before. And I think also with the Certified South Carolina initiative and the farm to table movement, so to speak, we're seeing a lot of younger people engage there. A lot of the organic, where they're supplying to the restaurants and those kind of things, especially in the Charleston area where we are. And I think that's exciting, and getting younger people involved in agriculture.
Well, it's definitely an exciting time to be a part of agriculture, and I want to thank you both for joining us. I know you've got a breakfast to go to.
Thank you.
And I want you to stay tuned for the Commissioner's Breakfast. It'll be upcoming momentarily.